Hey, it's Andy with IT Supplies. If you're shopping for a 64-inch outdoor durable printer right now in that production sweet spot, fast enough to grow into, affordable enough to make the numbers work, then the chances are the Epson SureColor S8170 and the HP Latex 730 are both on your short list. These are the workhorse roll-to-roll printers from Epson and HP, sitting right between the budget models and the flagships. Today, we're going to set down the brochures, ignore the sales reps, and break down exactly how these two stack up so that you can pick the right one for your shop. Stay tuned. Before we get into the head-to-head, if you haven't already watched our foundational video on the differences between solvent and latex ink technology, go watch it first. It's called Epson Solvent or HP Latex. We tested both. Here's what we found. That video lays the groundwork for everything you're about to hear, because comparing a solvent printer to a latex printer without understanding the inks first is like comparing a gas truck to an EV without understanding fuel. Go watch it, then come back. I'll be right here. All right, quick intro on both printers. The Epson SureColor S8170 launched in fall 2025 and replaced the longtime favorite S8600 that Epson sold for nearly a decade. The new model brings a 6-color ink set that adds light cyan and light magenta to the lineup. A single 2.6-inch user-replaceable print head with dual channels for every color, and the fastest print speeds that Epson has ever offered in their Solvent S-Series line. Of all three printers in Epson's new S-Series, this one is the production specialist. The HP Latex 730 sits in the middle of HP's roll-to-roll family, one step above the entry-level 630 and one step below the flagship 830. It runs HP's 4th-generation water-based latex inks and doubles the color print head count compared to the 630. HP also added 2 extra fans and a longer curing unit to handle the higher throughput, and they brought back automatic double-sided printing for the first time since the old 500 series, and made fabric printing possible through the optional ink collector kit. If you've outgrown an entry-level latex, but you're not ready to write a check for an 830, the 730 is exactly where HP wants you. Now, where do you begin when comparing two mid-tier workhorses like these? Let's lead off with the single biggest reason a shop would buy each one. Start with the Epson S8170. The headline feature is sheer banner throughput. That new 2.6-inch print head with 2 channels per color means the S8170 can lay down dense, high-quality banners at 358 square feet per hour in 4-pass mode. And we've pushed it past 725 square feet per hour in 2-pass mode without losing ink density and with very sellable outdoor quality. For shops with a heavy banner load that need to crank product out the door, this is flagship throughput at a mid-tier price. Now flip the coin over and look at the HP Latex 730. The reason a shop buys this printer starts and ends with what's in the ink. HP Latex is water-based with 0 harmful VOCs and 0 chemical odor. You can run this thing all day in a small shop and your team won't be smelling solvent fumes by lunch. Because latex cures the moment that it exits the printer, every print is fully dry, fully cured, and ready to laminate the second it rolls off the machine. No 4 to 6 hour outgassing window. The cured ink film also gives latex its signature toughness, scratch resistant from the start, and stretchy enough to handle wraps and curves without cracking. And because there's no solvent chemistry involved, the 730 can print on uncoated and specialty medias that solvent printers simply can't handle, including porous fabrics when you add the optional ink collector kit. The ink is the reason to buy latex, and the 730 packages it up with production speed and features to make it work in a serious shop. Both printers have something the other can't touch, so now let's get into the actual head-to-head speeds, ink costs, sticker prices. Let's start with print speeds, and we'll work straight off the spec sheet before I add a little commentary. On banners, the Epson S8170 prints at 358 square feet per hour, while the Latex 730 comes in at 334 square feet per hour. On adhesive vinyl, the S8170 prints at 243 square feet per hour, while the Latex 730 lands at 226 square feet per hour in 6-pass mode. Per the spec sheets, these are remarkably well matched. Now, here's the commentary. The Latex 730 is essentially pinned to the spec sheet. HP can't push the printer faster than the curing system can dry the prints, and the curing is the limiting factor on all latex. The S8170 is the opposite story. We've often run the S8170 in 2-pass mode at over 700 square feet per hour on banner with quality that would surprise you. Real world, the S8170 has a clear edge if production speed is your #1 concern. One last note worth calling out. The S8170 has no white ink option whatsoever. None. If white ink is anywhere in your plans, the conversation ends here and you're looking at the 730W. HP's white ink system on the 730W is genuinely the best in the business, with zero waste capping and 3 times faster white modes than the entry-level 630W. Now, let's talk about what it costs to run these printers, starting with ink. The Epson S8170 uses 1.5 liter ink bags at $286 each, which works out to about 19 cents per milliliter. You can also run 800 milliliter bags if you'd prefer to keep less ink in inventory. The HP Latex 730 uses 1 liter ink cartridges at $164 each, which comes out to 16.4 cents per milliliter. On the spec sheet, HP wins this round, but there are 2 wrinkles to flatten out. First, the Latex 730 uses replaceable print heads that need to be swapped out every 6,000 milliliters, and that comes to about 3.5 cents per milliliter in head cost, bringing the all-in consumable cost to around 20 cents per milliliter. And now we're back in a dead heat. The second wrinkle is that Latex ink uses a water carrier that has to be evaporated off during the cure. So latex printers typically lay down about 30% more ink per square foot than solvent printers do. Once you bake that in, the S8170 has a slight edge on real-world cost per square foot. For most of you, the difference is small enough that it probably shouldn't drive the decision. If ink cost is your driving factor, send us your file at itsupplies.com/print samples, and we'll print on both printers and report exact ink usage back to you so that you can make the most informed decision. Now to the part where everyone fast forwards to. What does each printer actually cost? These are moving targets because both Epson and HP run promos that change month to month. As of this video, the Epson S8170 has a street price of $18,995 after promo. The HP Latex 730 is $18,845 after all promos are applied, so less than $200 difference. The 730W with white ink steps up to $23,595 after all the promos. And remember, the S8170 does not have a white ink option. One more thing to note, the S8170 ships with a full set of 800 milliliter inks included. That's over $2,600 in ink in the box, which absolutely needs to be factored into your comparison. Promos change frequently, so reach out to a sales rep at itsupplies.com and we'll make sure that you're getting every dollar of savings on the table. I wouldn't pick one of these printers over the other for a few $100s one way or the other. Pick the right printer for your shop first, and then we'll work on getting you the best deal. So after all that, which printer should you buy? It's not about which one is better, it's about which one is better for your shop. Buy the Epson SureColor S8170 if production speed is your edge, if banners and vinyl are your daily bread, if you push real volume and need a printer that can keep up without sacrificing quality, the S8170 is your printer. It's the fastest mid-tier eco-solvent on the market, and the included starter ink makes the value hard to argue with. Buy the HP Latex 730 if workflow and versatility are what your shop runs on. If you laminate everything, if you print on a wide variety of medias including fabrics, if you want automatic double-sided printing, if zero VOCs and zero odor matter to your shop environment, or if white ink is anywhere on your radar, the Latex 730 or 730W is your printer. And if you're still not sure, that's exactly what we're here for. Reach out at itsupplies.com and tell us what you print and we'll point you in the right direction. And if you still can't decide, come see them both running at our Chicagoland Demo Center and let the printed samples make the call for you. I'd love to meet you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.